I got a real mower. Okay, so I know you guys are probably all thinking, oh Ben, you just wanted to get on the trendy cool kid club to get a real mower and start doing that. Well, no, that's not actually what I wanted to do. I have some Bermudagrass and I wanted to try to reel mow it, and I figured a push reel is the best way to start. But if you guys want to let me in the cool kid club, I'll accept that. So I got this reel mower from Coven Carlson. He's a local lawn care nut, and he gave this to me or let me borrow it. I'm not sure. Coven, you can comment and let me know if I can have this or if you want it back. But anyway, the reel to bed knife needs to be adjusted. I actually have very little experience with reel mowers. I had one before I ever started a YouTube channel. I actually used to use it on the Beast. I wish I had recorded that because it was quite a task, but it actually, mowing back there with a reel mower is actually easier than using a self-propelled mower. So what I need to do to kind of get this ready to use in the Bermuda is get the reel to bed knife adjusted so it's cutting all the way across. And I know enough about reel mowers to know how to adjust that reel to bed knife. So we're just going to kind of test the reel here, see if it's cutting all the way across. So it's cutting there. It's cutting there. Not cutting there. It's cutting there. Not cutting here. So it's on either end that it's not cutting. So that's telling me that the bed knife is not close enough to the reel itself. So we're going to adjust that now. So this has a flat head on, you can use a flat in here, but in general these are typically very hard to turn. So I'm going to use a 12 millimeter socket to turn these, and you don't need to turn these a lot. Just the smallest tick of a turn makes a big difference on this reel to bed knife. So like I said, both sides of the reel needs to come up closer, or the bed knife needs to come up closer to the reel. So what we're going to do is we're going to tighten these bolts that are on the back just a touch, and then we're going to loosen these bolts on the front just a touch so that reel can come up just a smidge. All right, let's see if that did anything. This side needs a little bit more adjustment. All right, we're cutting all the way across. We're going to check the height of cut now. Now I don't know if this is the proper way to check the height of cut on this, but it's the most logical one that makes sense to me. So I'm just going to take a tape measure and measure from the ground all the way to the top of the bed knife, because that's essentially where the blades come in contact with the bed knife, so that'll tell me the height of cut. So we're looking at just over an inch, and I have my Bermuda over there mowed 1.5 inches. Why don't we just go for it? Let's just go for this 1 inch cut. I might be cutting off more than the 1/3 of the grass blade, but hey, let's break some rules. Looks like I made it a bit too tight. So like I said, I made this a little too tight. I'm gonna screw the front screws, bolts down a little bit to tighten this up, or to loosen the reel to bed knife up a little bit. Now let's go see how it cuts on the Bermuda. So this area definitely needed a cut. It was getting a little shaggy. I cut it about 2 days ago with the rotary. I was starting to get more and more scalp marks. It's because it's uneven, but in general, this cut did really well with the reel mower. Now, I'm not sure if the camera's gonna pick this up, but there are little ripples in the grass. And I know I've seen Ryan Knorr talk about this. Typically, reel manual mowers do because the reel's not moving fast enough to cut a nice smooth edge like a gas or an electric power reel mower would do. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this is cut. It makes me think my rotary mower might have actually been cutting around an inch, and it wasn't actually 1.5 inches. I guess I was mowing this at about 1 inch all year, and it was doing fairly well. So let's go ahead and finish up this cut and do a double cut and see how it looks afterward. All you reel mowing folks, I get why you guys love mowing your lawns like this, because it is just extremely satisfying, and I would say the quality of cut is I mean, it surpasses the rotary mower with no questions asked. It was an awesome mow. I really enjoyed that. That was awesome. Now this area, this whole side area is probably about 1,000 square feet, and where the Bermuda is, it's only probably maybe 500. So a manual reel mower is perfect for this small area, and it knocked this out way better than my rotary mowers did, hands down. And there were some of those choppy areas I meant, where it looks like there's some ripples, and I went north, south, east, west, and then diagonal on this area, and it pretty much kind of cleaned up any of those little ripple areas, just made a nice even cut across the board. And I'd say the cut on this part of the yard has never looked this good. So really happy with that. Thanks, Coven, for letting me borrow it, giving it to me. I don't know, I hope you gave it to me, but I'll give it back to you if you want it. But I did just the reel to bed knife, so that's working for you now. The reel mower didn't scalp any of this. It did really awesome. And again, there's no catcher on that, but it still looks super clean afterward. It doesn't look messy at all. This was an awesome mow. Really enjoyed this mow. And yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping by, watching my videos. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that fun social media stuff. And as always, I'm Ben the Lawn Guardian, and I'll see you in the next video.